from our very own AV studio. Today we do the Diploma Avenue International College Open Day. I'm Parveen Jeram, the head of School for Business and Accountancy. And today I have with me a very special
Hi,
guest.
I am Fakrulrazi, Program Coordinator for School of Basic Media and Technology.
And today, so the topic today that we'll be discussing that is very hot topic now, which is higher ed learning is not an option. Guarantee yourself a better future. So, Mr. Razi, before we move on, how are you feeling today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too, very good, but just that it's a little bit scary reading newspapers these days. Still a person not interested in study. So basically, education is inherently the best gift that we actually give to ourselves. And also according to Nelson Mandela, as he said once said, education is the most powerful weapon that we could actually use to change the world. However, this notion is getting quite a turn these days because the younger generation, especially the generations, they are not very interested in this anymore. So, a little background as to why we are currently discussing this topic. So, according to Utusan Malaysia, a report by the Department of Statistics Malaysia, it shows that a staggering number of 72.1%, or by number is 390,000 students who are no longer interested in furthering their study after SPM, and they are actually interested in going into the workforce immediately after. This is a very scary number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's literally more than half. But let's jump into what we're looking at. So basically, why higher education is losing its appeal among Generation Z.
All right. For me, uh, if we refer back or we read further about finding of this, it is accumulative statistic, which is this research or survey we've done since 2019 to last year, right? So yeah, because of the I think two or three combination of number, so the percentage is higher. Okay, but for me, this situation a temporary one. It will be a temporary one, especially as we all know that we are on post pandemic of COVID-19. So um, maybe some of uh, students, SPM, they want to have their family and maybe they facing difficulties in the context of financial assistance. Right? But again, for me, it is temporary, and it is also the word of what we call losing its appeal. I mean, the higher education. All right, I'm not. I'm disagree about that because if we see after um, the result like the SPM or STPM come out, okay, parents or students themselves keep looking for their place to further the study, like higher learning education, all right, and my generation also, okay, as an example, for example, nowadays some of them need further their studies because previously maybe they not have the opportunity during the days after the SPM result. Okay.
So basically, I understand now because our generation is a little bit different. We
Yeah.
believe that education, no matter what age, is very important to us, right? But also, again, there are so many other job opportunities that is rising up,
Yeah.
which is also known as the gig economy,
Yeah.
where people are doing ride sharing services. They do very simple jobs like freelance work and whatnot. And what they are looking for mainly is for instant gratification, happiness, short-term happiness. I gain a lot of money. I don't need higher education. But again, this is something that you and I both know. This is a temporary thing. It's a short-term
Yeah.
thing because we do not know what is the future. What does the future behold for all of this gig economy, basically, right? And
We also must remember the question about how long this gig economy can long lasting. All right. Remember about I think 15 to 10 years back, we talked about the globalization. All right. But now most of the scholars agree that the globalization is fake. Why? Because it only give a benefit for some and not holistic business entity gain a benefit from this globalization. But it does not mean that we against the gig economy. Okay, it is an option for a current generation. Okay, to get extra money or to have a finance independence concept for family and so on.
But I believe, right, Mr. Razi, some of the younger generation would argue and say that, being a YouTuber could actually make me a
Yeah.
instant millionaire. So why would I want to use my time to study for the next 5 years or 6 years of my life? But again, this is again something that's very, very clever, something that's very new. We don't even know what is the sustainability level of this particular gig economy, or whatever it is. Yeah. And moving on to the next question, higher learning is actually a form of insurance in our life. I mean, both of you and I know that
Yeah.
without our higher education, we probably wouldn't be where we are now, right? So, one of the reasons that higher education is very important to us is because we will have some form of combination of job opportunities with our higher education. It actually streamline what our future holds for us, and we will always go into different fields, but as long because the certification, the qualifications
Yeah.
that we have, right? So, and also that we all know that without higher education and oftentimes many people do not progress in their work because there will be limited job opportunities
Yeah.
and also limited promotions and whatnot in the future. And also another bigger problem, without higher education certificate, we don't even get called for interviews because you're so focused on doing your gig economy, you forget that people look at qualifications,
Yeah.
right?
Let me share about the points. Education looks like insurance for us, right? My experience at that time, we are looking for the position of press secretary for my previous boss, minister. Yes, we have candidate, right candidate that experience in media industry and so on. But at some point, because this candidate do not have a degree. Okay, so which is uh, this requirement setting by a DPA at that time. So we cannot recruit that candidate even though that his experience there because they start with the education qualification.
That's a very good example, Mr.
Yeah.
Razi. That's just referring back to the point that with higher education, you can somehow, somewhat guarantee yourself to actually be promoted or for even any kind of job opportunity out there. Because in Malaysia, as we know, education qualification is always a requirement,
Yeah.
regardless of what industry we are in, right? And moving on, so we know that also with education, income differences will be there
Yeah.
because of promotions and whatnot. I believe you're familiar with this as well. The higher your education is or the better quality of your education is, the better you secure yourself for promotions because bosses just look at qualification, even though it's just a paper qualification to many younger generations, right?
Um, yes, qualification is very important, either in government sector or also in private sector. For us to climb for position, a senior position, all right. And for example, nowadays we are going to our government is going to set up 1,500 is the minimum salary rate. Can you imagine that if you not have any higher learning qualification, so that how the employer will uh, set up your base salary. You can imagine if you have either diploma, degree, and master, or so on. So it is unlimited for you, okay, to negotiate about your salaries. Okay, and of course for uh, for your future is better, and you have a lot of advantage if you compare with other candidates.
Yes, yes, right. That's definitely very true as well. Because just by having our qualifications, it actually puts us apart from the rest of the
Yes,
candidate there is,
correct.
right? So that's why higher education is still very, very much relevant.
Yeah.
Going back to the point that I made earlier about gig economy, we must remember that gig economy is actually a very short-term fact, if I could call it, and it's not going to be there maybe 10 years down the road. So what happens if you do not have a higher education? You could probably be setting yourself up for a whole lot of trouble by not studying now, right? And also, what if in the future, now if you're a YouTuber, but in the future you suddenly
Yeah.
decide, I don't want to be a YouTuber anymore. But where could you actually go from there? It's a question that you should be having in your mind when you're deciding on such an important thing in your life.
Yeah.
And the next one, Mr. Razi, maybe you would like to talk about it?
Yeah, nowadays, social media become one of the uh, what I can say a compulsory element. Previously, yes, we use our social media account for a social purpose, but now it's become one of the criteria in business or and so on. All right. Yes, for me, I look it at as an opportunity or option, all right, for students. It does not mean that if you become a YouTuber or TikTokers or uh, what we
Any
call
other
IG influencer or else, right? It does not mean that you must forget your higher learning education, all right? It is better, okay, if you do your uh, as a YouTuber at the same time uh, you learn in a higher learning institution, it will give you a better impact for yourself, your image. People will respect because you can do a multi task, right? And yeah, of course, you can make this social media platform also as a part of your uh, option to generate your income, for example, to support your study and so on. Okay.
If I may add on to what Mr. Razi had just said, so our social media is very much like our resume.
Yeah, it is very important.
It's so important that I even have younger generation coming up to me telling me, Miss Parveen, you have not updated your social media in a very long time. But to me, it's not a very important thing. Why so? Because of course we have already focused in our higher ed and whatnot,
Yes.
things like that. But yeah, just that for the younger generation. But going back to the point again, with your higher education together with the skills that you have for your social media, this will become your competitive advantage.
Yeah.
It sets you apart from everybody else or every other candidate that would be around the same range as you. And also creativity to think with higher learning. Because you see in classes, in every single program or course that you take,
Yeah.
right, you study certain subjects that will actually give you knowledge which you could apply into real life.
Yes.
And we are also, I mean, like every other institution, especially in MAIC, we bring in a lot of industry speakers to come in to share their opinion, their thoughts on what exactly is happening in the
Yeah.
industry. We are giving you hot out of the oven kind of information so that you will be equipped with this information. And when you go into the industry, you are already ready to actually serve. You are ready to actually start working, not still trying to walk, learn how to walk or whatnot. You are being prepped,
Yeah.
right?
Here at AIC, uh, when you learn here, it does not mean that you will lose your social life. No. All right. We try to align, okay, especially about the soft skills in digital industry nowadays. And for example, for those who are graduate here, we package them with not only cert or diploma they get, but they have additional 7 certificates. So total, after they graduate from MLIC, they get 8 of certificate. All right, because we did provide them the master class, okay, and also the Pearson Pride program, which is a professional to teach a student, okay, about certain skills related with the digital industry, right?
So all of these things that we are also equipping with our students, like
Yeah.
in MAIC, we believe that not only having education, hard sell education is important, but soft skills as well as other skills that
Correct.
is well required by the industry, we are prepping you guys for it. So like what Mr. Razi said, we do have master classes. Master classes, we are giving programs such as digital marketing, strategic digital marketing, and there are many others master classes. And as for Pearson, we are
Yeah.
focusing a lot more on Microsoft. We are basically teaching you guys how to use every single Microsoft software there is, so that you'll be able to function well with your computer. You know exactly what works. Exactly, yeah. And also, this goes without saying, with higher education, your self-esteem as well as your self-confidence will definitely be a lot better.
Yeah,
Right?
it is an open secret lah. I can say it is an open secret where people will look at us with a respect if they know that we are graduate or we have a certificate from either diploma, degree, or master education level, right? That how society will look at us, right? With a respect. Okay. Then here, okay, let's talk about Masa Avenue International College. So what we offer here?
Okay, so what do we actually offer here? As for School of Business and Accountancy, we do offer diploma in accounting. We have diploma in business, diploma in human resource, as well as certificate in business.
And from School of Creative Media and Technology, there are five programs we offer. Okay, include diploma in mass communication, diploma in graphic design, and diploma in multimedia, diploma in information technology, and also certificate in creative design. And all of our curriculum design, okay, which is to meet the industry demand or requirement. That's why we not scared. Or it is not a question either our student can meet the industry demand or not, right?
And also both of the school, most of the programs that we have, they are very well-rounded, as in we complement each other.
Yeah.
So for example, if you're coming in for diploma in business, and you're also at the same time probably interested in diploma in mass comm,
Yeah.
there are subjects that we are also offering in the school. And as what we mentioned earlier, for our master class,
Yeah.
we do offer courses in which students can learn in any area of their interest. This is extremely important because, as we have said, you want to be a well-rounded person as you're leaving to go into the industry, so that when you go into the industry, you're well prepped.
Yeah.
You're well prepped, you won't get a culture shock and be wondering what is
Yes,
this, what
right.
is my employer talking about, I don't know, things like that. And as for financial assistance, Mr. Razi, would you like to share?
Yeah, here we did provide a variety of financial assistance. These include and zakat, EPF withdrawal, staggered payments, for example. And then we have our own, which is what is the program C2D, okay, from a certificate program, which for the diploma program, D2D and other scholarship. Right?
Just to elaborate a little bit on what Mr. Rasi has
Yeah.
said on C2D and D2D. So this is our in-house financial assistance, in which students who come in for our certificate program and they would like to progress to diploma, they would get certain form of exemptions as well
Yeah.
as some discounts. And it's the same for diploma to degree, because as we are subsidiary for Masa University, so our students can progress to Masa University, and there are scholarships that are being provided as well.
And one more thing about the credit transfer, for example. Okay, let me share my experience in charge for mass communication program. Okay, previously our alumni, okay, is after they graduate, they plan to further to continue their study at the degree level. Yes, they can transfer the credit rate. It saves them a lot of in terms of money. Okay, so don't worry about that. And our program also recognized by Ministry of Higher Learning. to MQA.
All of our programs are well recognized by
Yeah.
MQA, there's no worry about it. And other benefits of studying in MAIC. So of course we are actually situated in the heart of the city in KL, and it's very easily accessible by
Yeah.
public transport. You do not have to worry thinking that I don't have any transport to go to campus or whatnot. Even our hostel is an in-house hostel. It's just like less than 5 minute walking distance to the campus
Correct.
area. And more importantly and most interestingly, I believe that the fact that we have our own ecosystem
Yeah.
in which we have our own grocery, we have our own hotel, we have our own entertainment spot and whatnot in the campus ground. I mean,
Yeah.
in the
This
avenue itself.
situation will expose our students to the real industry.
So if you're also interested in working part-time, at the same time, you
Yeah.
could work in any of our entities in our ecosystem.
Okay.
And additionally, not forgetting as well, we do have a lot of industry collaborations with
Yeah. We
industry
have more than 30
Yeah.
industrial partner.
We have more than 30 industry partners, and also all of this, what we are doing here is we are building network necessarily. Why so? Because we want to teach our students on soft skills such as
Yeah.
teamwork, we talk about leadership, people management, communication, critical thinking skills, just to name a few. There are many other skills that we are teaching our students indirectly by having this collaboration with our industry partners. Okay, without further ado, I believe and I hope that we have actually given you our insight, our input,
Yeah.
as well as what exactly is being offered by Masa Avenue International College. If you are very unclear or still uncertain, please feel free to come and talk to us. Our BD team, the lecturers, the academic team, they'll be more than happy to have you guys here. And
Can walk into
yes,
our campus.
you can walk in and
Yeah.
Monday to Sunday, basically our BD team is working. And even if you feel shy, you don't want to come through, walk in or whatever, not please go on our social media. You could drop us a question and somebody will revert back to you on your questions. And until we meet again, thank you very much for your time today. And goodbye and have a good weekend.
Okay.